Hello everyone, welcome. I'm starting soon. I'm just setting everything up. I do have my water here, brushes, and my watercolor set. Hello everyone, welcome. I'll be drawing Goku from Dragon Ball, Kid Goku. So I have everything set up. I'll be using these Arteza water brushes, these pen brushes that I already filled up with water. So I'm gonna see how this one does, this fine point. And let's start again. Okay, so we're going to begin with, I want to get his orange red clothing. See how that looks like. And have my towel ready just in case I do any kind of mistakes, any spillage. So we'll have that under control. All right, so let's see. Let's see if I can make some kind of a red. And I do have my testing paper right here. I'm going to add some yellow to that. I'm going to try out some of these brushes as well. See how this looks like. It is a very pink color with some orange. I'm mixing it in this other tin. I can have a bit more. I can get a type of an orange tinge that I want. So I'm getting my yellow and my red. Let's see if I can build a nice orange. Or red orange. Right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. Okay, so let's begin. I do have my red orange right here. Right, so it's not as concentrated. One great base color is going to do, at least we can know where go next and go heavy on a richer red. I'm using this wider brush to get a bit more coverage, but I think I'm going to switch to my thinner one and see if I can get into those details. So this one versus this one. Right now we're gonna go for the pants. Actually, let me go in one more time and add another layer because this is way too pink. I'm trying to go in as light as I can because I don't want trying to build some layers. I'm trying to cover as much as I can. And this watercolor cold pressed paper really does absorb very quickly, which is pretty good. That's exactly what I want. I wouldn't want things to just run. Again, people who are joining me, I'm drawing Kid Goku from the original Dragon Ball series. Specifically the anime, which is one of the ones that I watched the most. When I was a kid, I remember really watching every Dragon Ball on my computer a few years ago actually. I wanted to catch up and watch every single Dragon Ball episode. And Kid Goku was always my favorite just because of the way he looks with his chubby arms, his big head. He just Such a cool design. Classic Akira Toriyama style. Really, really innovative. All right, we're gonna let that dry. I wonder if I can lift this mistake right here. I think I will be able to lift a little bit off. Correct. Just wetting this and drying it with a tissue paper. Cool, so I did that. And now I'm adding a bit more red in here. And I'm going in for these shadows that you see right here. See how much shadow I can create. All right, this is my first time ever using these watercolor brushes, and they are freaking cool. Okay, I'm really liking these shadows. Really, really liking these shadows. Okay, so all of this underneath, creating a dark red shadow. Gonna clean up take right here with this. Zoom in a little bit more so it's easier to see. All right, so let's continue. All right, so we have that down. Now let's go for the pants. I'm gonna go in for one more layer of this red. Does look way too pink. It was way too light. All right. And I've noticed that if I don't have control over the amount of water that I place, it can just start running a little too much. And I'm not sure if I want to create any brush strokes just yet. As a texture, we'll see about that. But I know that I'm definitely going to be adding some of my ink at the very end with my Micron ink pens as some small strokes and small stretch, almost like some cross hatching and hatching, just something I usually do for my style. When this dries, this paper absorbs everything super quick, so I have to work kind of fast. I'm gonna have to go one more time. So obviously this is way too light. At least I know that my shadows are going there. I'm trying to go really concentrated in the red now because it'd be super, super red. I'm gonna go one more time. I do really want to intensify that red. Okay, now I'm going to correct some of these mistakes. Some of these edges that I kind of messed up on, I can actually remove them. Just wetting them and actually using some tissue paper. Cleaning up some of these edges where it kind of ran. My paintbrush kind of went a little too far. Alright, so far I like how that looks like. Alright, cool. I'm loving how it looks so far. I'm gonna zoom out for you guys and see how that looks like. I do have my testing watercolor paper here. I do have a bunch of towels to absorb anything that I might not need, just to absorb all the excess from the brushes and clean it all up. Okay, so build some water here. I'm gonna start coloring in with actually, let's see. I don't want to see how this one looks like. This one is a bit more of a rounded brush. You see right here. Okay, so I'm gonna try out this skin tone. I'm gonna actually go in for that peach skin tone that he has. And again, I'm gonna use my tester to try it out and see if it's the color that I want. And yeah, that's what it is. Alright, so this is the perfect color. Alright, let's see how I do. Get his peach skin tone inside. Anyone who's watching, thank you for watching. And if you do like what you see, hit that like button. That will help out my channel so much. I'm trying not to press too much into my watercolor brush because I don't want so much water coming out of it. And I am trying to keep it as light as I can for his skin tone. not so bad. I'm not gonna go in super dark. And obviously when I get into the shadows, which you can see right here in his arm, underneath the arm, shadows are being created, that's when I'm gonna go in a little bit darker. All right, so all right, I'm gonna go into his face, but I think I might actually need to use my thinner brush to get into those crevices, those tight details. Just go over. I'm gonna do as much as I can and cover some of these wide areas. And I am gonna be careful around his eyes and keep that white area, as you can see right here. Okay, so I'm going around his eyes, his eyebrow. I actually have to go in a bit darker because it's a little too pale. Yes, his skin isn't that pale. And add a little bit more orange. All right, there you go. That's looking a lot better. All right, that now I'm liking how that looks. Super, super cool. Now, next, I'm going for that iconic spiky black hair, which is super cool. I'm gonna let that dry out. I'm gonna go in for some of those shadows and see how that turns out. Okay, so I'm gonna go in again with my detailed pointed brush. I might actually add a little bit of black. A tiny bit of this will make this nice brown color that I need. I just don't want it to be so brown that it looks a little bit of yellow. Almost getting there. Added a bit of this red. All right, I think I got it. So let's paint some of these shadows inside. And again, I'm just curving these lines to make it look like there's volume in his muscles, just like in my reference photo. Let's go underneath his chin, his neck area. Add some darkness in there. There are some shadows underneath his ears. And you know what? I might as well start adding the red in his mouth. I'm already there. A little bit of purple. I might as well just start coloring his tongue. Bit more shadows in between his spiky hair. And this right side of his face is completely in somewhat some shadow. All right, cool. We have his skin tone down. And I'm really liking how it looks. It looks coming out okay. All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. Welcome, welcome. Okay, we're gonna move on to his hair. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is outline where that darker or that lighter gray is gonna go in. Let's see if I can find a great middle ground for a black. No, that's brown. Okay, that's green. I'm gonna have to use one of these. I do have a bigger palette right here, so that's gonna be our black. So my black that I have is right here. But luckily, we have a nice gray tone right. I'm gonna see how that looks like. I'm testing it out and I really like. Yeah, let's try out this lighter color. All right, let's zoom in. And I'd rather go lighter than and mess up than go darker because we can't go back. So if I go a little too dark, I'd rather have it go a little bit lighter and that way I can fix any mistakes if I need to. So that's exactly why I chose this lighter gray that you see right here. By the time I get to the darker part of the hair, it'll be dry. And this type of a lighter gray color on the black hair, anime and manga, specifically anime style, usually do that to symbolize the light hitting the hair from any of the light sources. And it makes it a little bit more interesting and it gives it more dimension for hair instead of it just being a solid black. That's what I've noticed. This type of flatter style anime hair. Okay, so I'm almost complete with the top part of this gray hair. And I almost pressed a bit too much on the gray. Okay, that's gonna take some time to dry. Hello, Kid Jordan 51. Welcome to the stream. Thank you, thank you. Oh, you're painting Kid Goku as we at the same time? Nice. Are you live streaming or just doing that on your own? Let me know. I'll end up. I do want to see that. If you end up posting it anywhere, if you have an Instagram, YouTube channel, I'll definitely want to see that. Oh, nice, nice. But if you do happen to post it anywhere, if you do have social media stuff, I'd love to see that because that'd be really cool. So the reason I chose Kid Goku is because it's one of those cartoons that I used to watch in both Toonami way back in the day and in English. And then also when I used to travel to Mexico a lot, I used to see it in Spanish as well. So I had both languages. Pretty cool. So while the hair part is drying, I'm going to go in with, see what I need. I'm gonna go in for his blue wristbands. I'm going in again with my thinner one. And how long have you been drawing, Kid Jordan? That's pretty cool. That's really cool. And yes, the Spanish version, it's pretty cool because I do have that song stuck in my head, the Spanish version, and then when I hear the Japanese and English, version, it kind of sounds the same. The background music, which is pretty cool. So you said you're painting Kid Goku. Are you doing it acrylic or watercolor? Because that'd be cool. I'd like to know that. Watercolor or acrylic. But yeah, this was such an iconic show. I didn't watch a lot of Dragon Ball Z because at that time I didn't get as much into it. I did see a few episodes with my friends, but it was mainly Dragon Ball. That's why I love Kid Goku because he just looks really cool. All right, I'm gonna go in for those. Yeah, I looked up the Spanish intro music and song the other day just to hear it again, and it was so cool. Memories, memories. Yeah, I'm gonna go in for a darker blue. Which I do have in my smaller palette. And again, I do have my testing paper right here. See if I like it. It's perfect. Nice. You've been drawing since the 4th grade. So you've always known how to draw? And if so, that's usually a gift because I literally have been drawing since I was probably, I think my mom told me 3 or 4 years old. So I just been knowing how to draw, which is pretty cool. That's really young, which is cool to know. Usually people who know how to draw just somehow know how to draw. And that's usually just an artistic gift that you have. So that's pretty cool. And you started in the pandemic, which is what a lot of people did, is finding different hobbies to do, which is pretty cool. I started painting in, I think when I was young, probably elementary school, but I mainly did drawing first. Traditional drawing. And I'm going in for these blue bandanas. I mean, blue wristbands. And by the way, this is my first time ever using these watercolor ink brushes. So I'm doing this for the first time live. So cleaning up that mistake right here. I'm trying to cover up that blue that I messed up. What I really should also use are some Q-tips, which really help clean up water and mistakes. So I have the blue ready right here. And I'm going to go in for a bit of a shadow underneath those wristbands. Oh, nice. Acrylic is nice. Yes, acrylic is cool. Nice. Yes, he was very pure heart. He was very innocent. That's pretty cool though that you've actually had the talent, but at least you're pursuing it now, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's great that you're pursuing it because I've been pursuing it since I was literally, like I said, in kindergarten. I never stopped. So, yeah, if you ever end up posting anything on social media, just you do end up liking what you do. It's cool to put things out there when you are confident enough or you do like your art. So that's pretty cool. So that is really cool to hear. And I'm going in for a darker blue. Add some of these shadows. I'm going to zoom all the way into his wrist and start adding that shadow. Thank you so much, Kid Jordan. Yes, so I am a lot older than you probably. I'm 37 and yes, so I do have a YouTube channel which I actually finally got monetized last year. And I do a lot of things on the side. I do Skillshare. I teach art. I make my own classes using pop culture. So if you go to my channel eventually, I'm actually about to post my next Skillshare class with a free month in the description. If you ever go ahead and check that out, where I'm drawing and painting Yoda digitally with Procreate. So I do both traditional and digital. So if you're into that, all that stuff is going to be on my channel. So I post on my channel regularly, at least once or twice a week. And yes, it took me a lot, like years to fully just start posting consistently on YouTube and do something with it because I, I also am a digital graphic designer for my job as well. So yes, I ended up going to school and college for all of this. So I just, yes, I never stopped with my art stuff. I'm always doing a lot of fan art, random video game art, fan art, all that stuff. So I never stopped. Okay, so his belt is going to be a super dark blue. I just noticed. Thank you, thank you. And it's just one of those things that I always want to do. And I do a lot of video game related fan art as well. Everything from especially Nintendo related stuff. So if you're into that, there's so many tutorials that I've done, all of that stuff. So so I'm trying to clean this blue off as much as I can. And maybe start using my regular brush just to kind of fill that in. I'm going to use these little compartments, and do a dark, super dark blue for his belt. So I'll be using my black. I'm gonna get a deep, rich black with a dark blue so it won't look so flat. It'll give a bit more interest than just using a pure black. There you go. I'm gonna see how that looks like on my testing paper. Yep, that looks cool. That looks perfect. Oh, nice, cool. Yes, you can be, yeah, you're way younger. Give it a shot if you ever attempt to just start putting your stuff out there. A YouTube channel, you don't have to put your face anywhere. You don't want to. It took me a long time to even start doing all of these voiceovers and all that stuff. So if you ever end up doing that stuff, thanks for the subscribe though. Thank you, thank you. That's really cool. That's happened so much where I'm looking for inspiration and I randomly find someone on YouTube and I start following them, start commenting and all that stuff, and it just ends up inspiring me, especially when I'm always changing mediums. So I'm always trying out different ink pens, just different things. And if I find someone that I like, I start watching their stuff and then just go for it. So that's pretty cool. Thank you. All right, I'm going in for the belt, which is going to be super dark. I'm going to add a bit more water. But yeah, trust me, I'm always getting inspired by watching other people's art style, different channels, and just always happens when I'm looking for the next type of thing to do. So oh, and by the way, if you're a big Nintendo fan, I actually also started a video game slash fan art video game channel where I do a bit of both. And you'll also see that on my art channel as well. It's called The Lens of Truth. And that's also something that I've been wanting to do for years. And I finally just said I'm going to do it. And I'm going to be almost 2 years since I started that channel. And I've been having fun making video game content. So I just went for it because I'm a nerd. And I like to talk about gaming and all that stuff. So I'm already always playing games, drawing, I might as well just make content. That's what I told myself. So that's what I told myself. I've been having so much fun doing both. All right, I need a little bit more black to get into that darker blue that we need. I'm gonna have to turn my paper just so that I'm always turning my paper so that it's easier on my positioning of my hands. So always turn your paper if you need to. I'm gonna try and clean up some of these mistakes. Kind of went off of the edge, it kind of bled through. And I also have these jelly roll pens, which is white. That's also a great way to correct mistakes, but I'm gonna do that all the way towards the end, just in case I mess up and I have to cover up some of this bleed out. If I wet this enough, I can actually lift that and just kind of use my Kleenex to lift that up. Cool, so I have the belt ready. And now I just need his hair. All right, cool. So the belt's done. So yeah, here's my link. That's my link to my, it's called The Lens of Truth. That's my gaming channel. So yeah, the wet Q-tip really does work, especially for watercolor, but it does work for acrylic if you do need to lift up something kind of quickly. But if it's a heavy type of acrylic, it might not lift it as much. But I'm actually going to go ahead and get one because I do need one. All right, so I went ahead and grabbed some Q-tips because I do need them. So I have two Q-tips right here, and I'll show you how to lift. Now this works a lot more with watercolor, but I know I've used it before when I'm doing some acrylic paints. So I'm gonna zoom in as much as I can just to show you that it does work. It does work on paintings. So now I'm cleaning up some of these edges. And lifting some of that blue. Look how easy it lifted that right there. Now eventually go back in. I do need some fresh water, so yes, you're a Splatoon guy. Yes. Love Splatoon. I literally play that almost every single day. I've been so addicted to that game since the Wii U days, so I'm always doing, I try and do live streams at least once a week or twice a week on the weekend or Fridays, so lots of different Nintendo games. Love Splatoon, and I can't wait for the next system whenever they announce that. So yes, I've been managing two channels, but it's been super fun just creating for both. Oh, nice. You did oil painting. Nice, nice. Now, was it traditional oil or water? Because I use water mixable oil, which is a little bit easier to use. I've never worked with just traditional oil, just watercolor mixable oil. If you ever, I do have a few oil paintings that you can check out on my painting section in my channel where I use water mixable oil paint. I've heard that regular oil paint's hard to use, so I've never used it, so I have no idea. I know it takes a lot longer to dry when it comes to regular oil, so now I'm going to use this small brush just to see how that looks like. And just going into all these small details. All right, I'm gonna try and lift some of this part of the eye because it looks a little dirty. So we'll see if I can lift some of that and clean up his eyeball. I'm gonna lift a little bit of that off of the eyebrow. So yeah, I've worked with both oil paint and acrylic as well, which is pretty cool. And I'm not sure if you've ever used a jelly roll pen. You can find these at any, like literally any store, Walmart, Target. These white jelly roll pens come in handy by cleaning up mistakes. If you ever used one, I'm going to show how that's done. It's almost like using whiteout. This is perfect for correcting any mistakes. I use this for almost every art that I do to clean up any time I go off of the edge, just make things a little bit sharper. And they're really cheap. They're like under $3. These jelly roll pens come in handy. Right now I'm just thinning out this black in his eyeballs just to make it as clean as I can. And then I'll be going back in with my Micron ink pens, which I have. Okay, it's time to paint that black hair. I need to paint all of that hair. And I think I'm going to use this bigger one. Let's see how I do with that. But again, I'm going to test it out. I'll be testing this out and see if I do like that black. I do have this big palette of this black, and let's see if that ends up working in my favor. I want to see how that dries. So this is my testing paper right here. Looks like it's drying up exactly how I want it. And by the way, this is cold pressed watercolor paper, which absorbs nicely. Yes, it took a lot. Yes, oil paint does take hours to dry. The good thing about oil is that if you end up, let's just say you have a canvas that and you can fit it, you might be able to cover it without actually touching the painting. You can go back in days later and still work on it while it's still wet, and that's actually really good if you want to end up mixing right on the canvas as well. So that comes in handy. All right, time to paint his hair. Okay, I have my black ready. right, let's do this thing. Going from the bottom. And yes, I loved my Wii U. I played that so much. What was your most played Wii U game? I think mine was Splatoon 1, and I think I played a lot of, especially the multiplayer. I played Mass Effect 3. The Horde mode was really fun online. Okay, I'm gonna have to go in with a thinner brush because there's so much, crevices are too much. This is already bleeding through, so yeah, I'm gonna go into a spiky hair with this thinner brush. So yeah, have you never heard of these jelly roll brushes or these watercolor brushes? But yeah, I remember years ago I had no idea what a jelly roll pen was until I saw someone use it. I'm like, oh, that comes in so handy. And you can order those off of Amazon as well. They come in different colors. But obviously, the white one is the one you need, especially if you're doing anything with ink pens, but it also works with some paintings as well. Actually, with paintings as well, if for like small things though. Yeah, this part of the hair is taking me a lot longer than normal just because I don't want it to bleed into the gray. But we'll see how it looks when it's done. All right, cool. Almost done, at least with that part. It's always these, always going next to trying to have these clean lines where it gets super tricky. And I think I'm going to be going over those eyebrows with my Micron ink pens just to make sure they're as clean as I can make them. So yes, Super Smash Brothers for Wii U was a game that me and my friends played for so long. That was a fun game. Mario Kart as well. I even got Smash Brothers for 3DS as well. That was fun too. Yeah, the Mega Man reveal was so hype back then. That was fun. It was a much needed character that people have wanted forever. One of my main characters was King DDD, so it was fun. King DDD was my main, and also let me see who was, and Bowser Jr., Koopa Kids. Those are my favorite. Yes, the Jelly Roll pen. Yes, that's such a much needed thing when you want to correct anything. So right, I'm almost done with his hair. Another underrated game that I think didn't really sell well was Pokken Tournament. That was a fun game too. And I remember buying the DLC as well. Then I ended up buying the game again for the Switch. Right. Oh, am I too fast in the painting? I thought I was going a little too slow. Am I going too fast in the painting? I thought I was going actually a little too slow. I'm gonna turn my paper again, making it easier for me to paint that hair. All right, so let's see. Yeah, sorry. Let me know if I'm going too fast and if you have any questions as well. The 3DS version of Smash Brothers had a way better, what was it called? Smash Run? That was so much better than what we got for the Wii U version. That's what you're talking about. I do remember. Yes, I think it was called Smash Run. Was so much better. At 3D, yeah, than the Wii U single player thing. Right, so I'm outlining where my black needs to go for the hair, and then I'm filling it in. Oh, okay, yeah. Yes. Oh yeah, Toon Link was fun, but I felt like he was a little too floaty, so I never mained Toon Link. I was just actually terrible with Toon Link because he was too floaty for me. But I do like his. I always liked his fire arrows. But my favorite version of Link is in Smash Ultimate. Is Young Link. I always liked his design. It was really fun. But I do like Toon Link and his stage though. The Wind Waker stage was really fun. And I'm usually give every character a chance, which is because it's fun having several different mains. So yeah, there was something about King DDD being fast and heavy at the same time. He was really fun. Yeah, I played the heck out of it, but and actually the online was actually really good on Pokken Tournament as well. But yes, I do tend to paint. I'm used to painting kind of quick, but always these tricky, tighter areas that do tend to take my time just because I know I'll mess up if I go too quick. But one of my most played 3DSs, I mean, my most played 3DS game was Kid Icarus Uprising. That game deserves a remake, a remaster, complete remake for the next system because that game was so fun. Even the online was really good. Yes, I completed the hair. I completed his hair, finally. And I actually love how it turned out. Here's a full body. Cool, I only need a few more things. Nice. Really like how it's turning out. Oh, I'm loving how it turned out. Since I'm already here, I'm going to go ahead and add some of these shadows into the belt. Even though you might not be able to see them as much, it'll still be there. All right, cool. Okay, cool, yes. I mean, I've been painting and drawing for so long, I think you'll get used to it the more and more you do it. Not that I'm rushing, it's just that I'm used to painting kind of quick, so as long as you go at your own pace, it doesn't really matter, so. And I think I'm also eventually, I've been planning on doing I do have a video on how I have my art desk set up as well. And same thing, my L-shaped desk I got on Amazon. And I also have my computer on there, so that's how I do my streams as well. So everything that I have here is used for both streaming and drawing. So I got kind of lucky that I figured everything out on how I have everything set up. So but yeah, Wind Waker on the GameCube and the HD version on the Wii U it looks so good, so good. And yes, I love The Legend of Zelda in general. So I've completed every single Zelda game, the main titles, except for the first two NES ones. But I've completed every Zelda game ever. So I can't wait to see what they do next for the Zelda series. So, which is your favorite Zelda game? Oh yes, Luchador Pikachu was a female version of Pikachu, and Machamp he was very OP, but he was fun. He was like the muscle of the game. He was a heavy hitting character. I remember getting my butt kicked with Machamp. I think in the DLC I ended up getting Blastoise as a fun character. But I think it was Scyther or Caesar was one of my mains in Pokken Tournament, which was really fun. Okay, so now I want to get into these blue shoes, which I should have done earlier, but let's get into these shoes. And I'm going to get into his power pole, which is red. So let's do a real quick blue for his shoes. So again, I'm going back into with my watercolor pen brush. Very thin, very thin. Now, this blue is a little too light, so I'm going to go into my darker one instead. And again, if you guys, anyone who's watching, I do have a part 1 of this video where I drew him and I used micron ink pens to outline him. So that was done around 4 days ago. Right, so I'm going to do his shoes. I think for the end, I'm going to go into to his nimbus clouds at the very end. Right, so that's one down. Oh yeah, so for the 3DS, for the 3DS, one of my favorite games ever was Kid Icarus Uprising. Have you ever played that game? That was such a fun game. Yes, the controls were a little, it took time to get used to, but man, I loved the flying sections because it reminded me, since it was on rails, it reminded me of the Star Fox series. So I can only imagine what they can do when they bring it into HD. Alright, cool. I finished his shoes. Yes, Ocarina of Time is a timeless, one of my favorite games ever. One of my favorite games ever made. Ocarina of Time, so I'm sure that game's gonna get a full-on remake sooner or later. I can't wait till that's gonna happen. Yeah, Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker, those games neck and neck are so good. You know what's funny? I literally have a list of videos that I'm gonna make for my gaming channel, and I'm literally thinking of just doing a live stream of playing Pokken Tournament for the Switch and ARMS, because I'm kind of doing like like underrated Switch games, and I'm just gonna play ARMS and Pokken Tournament for about 2 hours. So Hopefully I'll do that soon. I've been wanting to play Pokken Tournament for a while, and ARMS. I played the heck out of ARMS. Not sure if you bought it, if you have it. But yeah, Pokken Tournament, I think ARMS, when it came out for the first year of the Switch, are underrated. Underrated. Hopefully we get sequels for both of those games eventually. Okay, so I'm gonna paint that power pole. I'm gonna zoom in. This power pole is red. I'm gonna use one of these reds that I do have right here. And let's see how that looks like. And off camera, I do have this towel where I'm cleaning and wiping off everything that I can. Making sure everything is clean. I'm gonna get all that blue out. I'm gonna go into for that red. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and test it out. I like how it looks. So yeah, have you ever, what's your favorite 3DS game? I think for me, it's a tie between Kid Icarus Uprising and Metroid Samus Returns was a fun game as well. So many good games on the 3DS. A Link Between Worlds also, I think, would be a cool remake, remaster. Okay, so I'm painting this red. And again, I've been trying to do more art drawing streams lately on my channel because it's been a minute I was consistent with live streams. So expect to see more live streams with literally just random things that I come up with, random fan art. The latest one before this, I drew Volvagia from Ocarina of Time. So that was a fun one. And I'm actually about to edit an under 10-minute video on the process for that digital painting of Volvagia from Ocarina of Time. So that was a fun one to do. I have so much Zelda fan art and so many more to come. Okay, so the power pole is done. Power pole is done. Yes, if you can play Kid Icarus Uprising, hopefully you find a decent price because I know that game didn't have a large print run, so it might be expensive. But if you can, I'm telling you, it is the best looking 3DS game. The cinematics when you're flying, the controls obviously are pretty. It does take a long time to get used to the controls. Well, and again, I have it on my list. I'm working on a 3DS review slash look back at Kid Icarus Uprising and why I love it. So eventually, that's gonna go onto my YouTube gaming channel because I love that game so much. I literally have the concept already kind of done. I've been wanting to talk about Kid Icarus Uprising for so long. I did an unboxing on my channel though. I did an unboxing on my Lens of Truth channel, so I love that game so much. Love it, love it. Right, I'm gonna add a little bit of gray right here on this rope that he has. Actually, I'm gonna go in for the gray instead, a very light gray. I'm gonna add a little bit of gray in his mouth, just to keep it from being a solid white. Just for the shadows under his teeth. That'll give it a nice shadow. I feel like it needs some shadow. Now I'm gonna color his rope and his socks. This is going to be a light gray. Yeah, the only thing with arms was that I was there, I got it at the very beginning. I just didn't like how the content was slowly rolled out to make it seem like there was a lot of add-ons when there really wasn't. But the characters that they did add, the stages, it was fun. It was a fun game. All right, let's go for his socks. Okay, so Cool, I have the socks complete. I'm gonna go in for the monkey, his famous monkey tail. Oh, you know what? Mario and Luigi Dream Team was a fun game. I played Bowser's Inside Story, but my favorite one is the original one, Partners in Time. Yeah, the Dream Team was actually a fun game. I think my cousin let me borrow it, and I got pretty far into it. I never beat it though. That was a fun game. Time for that monkey tail. Okay, cool. I found the right brown that I needed. Let's quickly cover all of this. All right, so that's probably the last part of his tail that I need to do. Right, so that's gonna have to dry before I add any more shadows onto the tail. But that tail is done. Okay. The last thing I need is the Nimbus Cloud. Okay. That's gonna be a solid yellow. So yes, Dark Pit is introduced in Kid Icarus Uprising, and he's literally a prominent character in that game. He is, and I don't want to spoil it if you ever end up getting it because it's such a great story. So many twists and turns in that game. So many twists. So many twists in that game. Oh, and by the way, since you said you love painting acrylic and oil, if you ever find a small spritz bottle, you can find these at any store. This comes in handy when you want to moisten your wet paint on top, or kind of just dilute your acrylic paint. This is perfect for that. A little bit of water in this mist bottle. This is super perfect when you want to dilute your paint. Oh, Beautiful Joe. I've never got to play Beautiful Joe. That's one game that I've been waiting for. If they ever do a remake, remaster, I've been wanting to play Beautiful Joe for so long. Did you play part 1 or 2? Yeah, Beautiful Joe's one of those games that I was hoping would someday get a remake remaster, so wasn't it a freaking hard game to play though? I heard it was really hard. Okay, so for this Nimbus, for the Nimbus clouds, I'm gonna go in full on with the yellow. And I'm going to use this other brush that I haven't used. This is a rounded tip brush. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to refill my ugly, dirty water. So I'll be right back. All right, I am back. I am back. I just got some more water. All right, I'm back. Okay, cool. So yes, that the spray bottle, you have this is trust me. This will also help moisten your acrylic paint, keep it from drying out. So you literally whenever you have your paint on your palette, all you do is spritz some and it'll keep it moist. I learned that in college, so after that I literally have always have one handy. Oh, so you played, yeah, so you played Beautiful Joe 1 and 2. So yeah, I've always wanted to play them. Always wanted to play them. Were they long to beat? How many hours do you think it is to complete part one? Yeah, because those games always look fun. I just never got a chance to buy them. By the way, I'm always using these leftover food plastic trays. All of these come in handy. Anything like any of this type of hair gel, pomade type containers are perfect for water and cleaning your brushes and things like that. So that's another tip right there. Okay, cool. 'Cause I heard it was really that it can get super hard. So okay, it's time for the Nimbus cloud. Okay. Nimbus cloud time. Gonna be a full on yellow. Let's see if this neon yellow is gonna work. I wonder if it's too yellow. Yeah, it's an okay yellow. Okay. I'm gonna do the very tip of and eventually I will outline the Nimbus cloud with a almost like a darker yellow as well. Now, did you ever play Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube? That was such a good game. Resident Evil 4 was like the game. One of those classic must have GameCube games. Okay, so I'm adding a little bit of this a bright yellow, but it works. Alright, so I'm using this paint my Nimbus cloud. This is one of the last things that I need. I'm gonna zoom. Now I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure I don't make these colors run with the red. It'll be way too obvious if they start running because the yellow is so bright. I'm gonna turn my page, makes it easier on my hands. I'll be cleaning up those edges with my Micron ink pens eventually, so. So yeah, I think I am gonna do a stream of those just because I did have so much fun with those, and yeah, I remember beating them. The story mode were that was actually really fun. And it'll be fun to see if people are even if people are still playing it online as well. So how far are you on your painting so far? Or are you taking a break? Or is it going to be one of those things too that you obviously are going to be working on for a while? Just relaxing and painting your Goku. Yeah, Super Mario Sunshine was one of those games that was so hard. You can tell it was an unfinished game, but I still liked it though. Sunshine was fun, but man, was some of those levels freaking too hard. I ended up getting the Mario 3D All-Stars for the Switch. I did end up putting in a lot of hours for it, but yeah, some of those, you can just tell some of it was a little bit clunky, but it was still fun. That pachinko level, screw that level. I hated that level. That pachinko thing was so unfair. If you ever remember playing the pachinko stage. Alright, I finally finished at least this part of Goku. Alright, so this is gonna have to dry out. Oh, and I just noticed I missed a little bit of red right here. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. But yeah, Resident Evil 4 Remake though, I would suggest playing Resident Evil Remake if you haven't, because that game took what made the original but just made it modern, and it's so good. It's so good. Highly recommend Resident Evil 4 Remake. Alright, using this Q-tip to clean up this little patch here. That was annoying. Now this is a subtle yellow in his little part of his what is it, the Japanese writing, the characters, the Japanese characters. So I'm gonna go in with a light yellow. I want it to be subtle. Okay, cool. I have the base colors for everything. I just need those shadows on the clouds, but I think the most part that I have. And when there's a lot of water on here, it does tend to warp just a bit, but it will go back to normal because this is watercolor. So I'm just bending it just a tiny bit. Still drawing, so. I'm really loving how this looks. Again, I'm just cleaning up my brushes. Cool, yes. Shadows and background, yeah, that's gonna be so cool. Yes, everyone knows about the pachinko machine. Everyone knows that, yes. So annoying. So yeah, that's gonna be cool. If you do end up posting that or creating, you know, Instagram or something, that'd be cool to post your drawings or upcoming drawings if you're into that. So okay, so what I'm thinking of doing is, because I have been here for around 2 hours. Oh, time went, every time I paint, time goes quick. It's been 2.5 hours, which is crazy. Yeah, time flies by when you're painting, which is cool. So what I'm thinking of doing is just leaving it here as is, and I might do a final live stream maybe this Friday. I'm not sure yet, or Saturday or the weekend, to do the final details, the part of the cloud, and I might add some Dragon Balls on the right side. All the way around here, I might do that. And then do all the shadows that I might need to, some cleanup work with the ink pens, and eventually I'll do a final time-lapse video of the whole process where I'm explaining exactly what I did. So stay tuned for that. Yes, the remake came out not that long ago. Last year, actually. Came out last year, and it's oh, that game was so fun. You have to play that game. I know there's a lot of sales for it now. I'm sure you're gonna find it cheap if you play that. I played it on the PS5, so it was a fun game. The pacing is perfect. And the DLC for Ada Wong, and also the Mercenaries mode, that was super addicting. That was very addicting with the Mercenaries mode. If you ever remember playing that, that was fun. I'm gonna actually zoom in on the eyebrows just a little bit because they're bugging me that they're a little bit washed out. So yeah, the remake came out last year and it was a good A really good game. I just need to do the eyebrows because they're bugging the heck out of me. I just need to clean them up. I'm using a Micron Pigma Micron Ink Pen 08. This is a 0.50 millimeter Micron ink pen. I just want to darken these eyebrows real quick. Right, there we go. All right, cool. Those eyebrows were bugging me, but I got that done. Okay. That is the complete, almost complete Kid Goku. Yes, time does fly. So yes, if you can, go ahead and if you want to, you can post your Instagram here on the chat, and I'll go ahead and check it out and follow you on Instagram. Or you can follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna find mine real quick. I have actually 2 Instagram pages, so but here's just one of them. But yeah, that'd be cool to see. I want to check yours out. So that is my Instagram, where I post all the stuff that I'm working on as well. But you'll also find all of my links and stuff on my YouTube as well. Yeah, time flies, especially when you're really into all of this stuff. All right, nice. I got your Instagram already. Nice, thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching, Kid Jordan 251, and everyone who's watching. And see you all next time. Thank you for watching. All right, cool. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.